Hello everyone, this is Barbara Howard and welcome to my podcast. I appreciate everyone who takes the time out to listen and share and provide feedback. I love hearing from you. You can see all the books that I have out currently and projects that I'm working on over at my website at barbarahowardmedia.com or authorbarbarahoward.com. You can find the links to all of my social media pages over there as well. So, what's been going on? Festive Mayhem 2 is what's going on. I have a short story in that collection. It is an anthology of culinary cozy mysteries. 7 crime writers of color got together and created this limited edition anthology that's only available until January 31st. 2022, so grab it while you can, and each story has a recipe included. Now, for those of you who read Final Harvest and Charlotte's Revenge and Milo's Journey, you know a little bit about Milo and a little bit about Jules. And where the story ends in Milo's Journey, Milo is taking on a career that has to do with cooking. And so this was a perfect way to run a little spin-off short story to be included in this anthology. So I want to read a little bit from A Cup of Secrets, which is the name of my short story in the anthology. I don't think there are any spoilers, so I think we should be okay. All right, here we go. The idea of mixing birthday balloons and Christmas decorations in one party theme sounded crazy to me, Jules said as she walked through the Parkers' entrance hall. I guess that's what happens when you're born on Christmas Day. You know what? It looks pretty nice. She spun around. I really like it. No, I love it. Me too. Milo surveyed the main foyer, then stepped inside the great room and scanned the space from the glossy maple wood dance floor to the rustic vaulted ceiling. Everything looked perfect. You did an awesome job, babe. I'm so proud of you. We did it. She slipped her arms around his waist and gave him a kiss on the cheek. What are you doing? Milo blushed and glanced around. It's mistletoe, Jules said, wiping her lipstick stain from his face. She pointed to the little sprig of greenery hanging above their heads. Well, merry mistletoe. He smiled and watched as Jules sauntered off to the kitchen, glancing back at him with the sweetest grin. He took a deep breath and studied the event checklist for the millionth time. The last year had been a grind, with very little money and even less sleep. The hard work had paid off when he landed the most sought-after holiday party in the county. The budget was through the roof, no limits. This one event would cover his operating expenses through the next quarter and prove to Mr. Lattimore that he was worthy of Jules. Her parents were still skeptical, and their relationship had suffered from it. He could provide a good future for her with his catering business. It would just take time. Working for the Parkers had put him on the map with a whole new affluent clientele. No more backyard barbecues and swim parties. Requests were already coming in, and the evening had not started yet. He stared at the list, double-checking every detail, and totally missed Chelsea Parker's presence next to him. So, here's my birthday present, she said, and slipped her arms around his shoulders, then traced her fingers up and down his arms, smiling mischievously at him. Oh, wow. Milo blinked and took a quick breath. I didn't see you come in. Happy birthday, Chelsea. It's going to be the best party you've ever had. You promise? She licked her lips and tightened her grip. Her golden blonde hair was pulled into a high ponytail. She wore twinkling candy cane earrings and a hunter green bodysuit. If naughty Santa's elf was the look she was going for, she had nailed it. He is not your present, Chelsea. Jules walked over and pried her fingers away. I think you should touch up your makeup, by the way. Chelsea patted her face where her mascara had run in jagged lines down her cheeks and smiled. I suppose you're right. Thanks, hon. She looked Milo up and down, then walked down the hall to the master's suite. Milo turned to Jules and shrugged. He hoped the two women would avoid each other during the party as much as possible. I really don't like her, you know. She thinks she can have everything and everyone. Jules folded her arms and watched Chelsea close the bedroom door. Don't worry, I won't say anything to her right now, but she'll learn to keep her hands off you after tonight. Forget about it. Milo couldn't let the tension escalate between those two. He put his hands on her waist and lowered his head to make direct eye contact. She's probably drunk. Besides, after tonight, I think you and me need to talk about us being permanent, you know, forever. And I don't just mean the business partnership. Mr. Lattimore would have to get over it. Jules was the center of his life, and nothing was going to stop them from being together. He stroked his fingertips along her cheek. Jules gave him a little grin, and then that radiant smile was back. What about grad school next year? She said softly and wrinkled her brow. My parents. Milo brushed his lips against her earlobe and whispered, We'll talk about it later, okay? So, you two are making out when you should be working. Good thing I came to check on you. Tracy Simmons rushed into the room like a hurricane, which was her usual style. We're working, trust me, Milo said and gave her a hug. He could always depend on Tracy to step into a situation to make sure everything was in order and up to her standards. It was annoying, but he loved her for that. She slipped off the navy barn coat with the burgundy Hazelton House crest embroidered on the pockets and draped it across the nearest armchair. She must have come directly from volunteering at the annual Christmas concert and sleigh rides at Bent Willow Farm. Jules, here's the seating chart. Tracy pulled out the instructions from her overflowing pockets. Go ahead and get the place cards on the table. I'll help Bam Joe get set up to DJ in the other room, and here's the floor plan of the house for you two. This place has way too many rooms, in my opinion. Try not to open the wrong door like I did. Randall is home alone with little Remy. I promised I wouldn't stay out long. Everything all right, Milo? He nodded as she scurried out of sight. Milo took another deep breath and thought, yes, everything is perfect. All right, so I'm going to end that little segment right there. I hope you pick up a copy of Festive Mayhem 2. It's available online only until January 31st, 2022. Grab your copy right now. I'll mention the titles of the other stories in Festive Mayhem 2. Nefarious New Year by Paige Sleuth. The Brotherhood of Tricks and Treats by Francilia Belton. Cookies, Lies, and Homicide by Angela Henry. Last Bite by Rhoda Berlin. A Praline for Pepe by Carolyn Marie Wilkins. And The Jollof, Rice, and Crayfish Mystery by Stella Oni. I love working with these ladies. It's been such a joy and a treat to share their stories and the work that they're involved in outside of the anthology. Stay tuned as I talk with some of the other authors on the podcast, and please make sure to check out their websites as well. Thanks again for listening. I'll talk to you again real soon.